I'd be jealous. He was different at the start, much quieter and more reserved. I wonder if I did something wrong at first. Nah, he's probably just like you and doesn't get out much. I mean, he's at the bar almost every night until 3. Not that I stay up that late, of course. Of course, I was hoping it was just first date jitters. I know I wasn't feeling a little. I know I was feeling a little anxious. Still do even afterwards. It was like I met a different person. Well, that just means you need to see him again so you can get to know him better. You're going to see him again, right? Yeah, we set a date. Yeah, we talked for a while after the movie, and I suggested dinner over at the place around the corner. I've been wanting to see him for a while. Yeah, man. After this next date, I'm about to get some. Duh. If y'all know what I mean. Let me stop. Ooh, romantic. Candlelight dinner, maybe some wine? He immediately broke down into giggles. I felt my cheeks flush and glowered at him until he stopped. Sorry, bro. I'm just really happy for you. It's so cute thinking about you two together. You're not helping me feel any less awkward about this, you know? Kobe continued to barrage me with questions about my first date until I managed to distract him with his own romantic life. As he went on and on about his conquest, I found myself half listening. Part of me kept thinking back to Jax, the kiss at the theater and the chat at coffee shop before it. I might be a little rusty at dating, but there's something Jax isn't telling me. Even more revealing, I wanted to know what it was. Seeing the look on his face, watching him brighten in a shade or two, I couldn't stop thinking about it all. I hadn't felt this way about someone in a long time. Hello? I was paying attention. No, you weren't. You were a million miles away, likely with someone else. He was right, of course. Seems like Jax made more of an impression than I thought. Still, I wasn't any good to dwell on it. I couldn't compress my entire dating life into a single day. Let's just do something else. I need to distract myself for a while. Ooh, what if we... Fortunately, Kobe was more than willing to distract me, as well as were a number of chores I had been neglecting. Between getting back to bed to flopped out of bed, boy, whatever. It was nearly midnight when my phone started ringing. I'd forgotten to silence it before passing out and struggled to grab it from the nightstand. Blinking myself awake, I swiped to answer and held the phone to my ear. Hello? I couldn't hear anything on the other end for a moment, save for a roaring crowd and at least a dozen background conversations. It sounded like someone was trying to talk to me, but I could only hear snippets above the din. Finally, I heard some sounds of movements and a door opening. The background noise grew muffled, and I could finally make out the voice. Can you hear me now? Jax, why are you calling me in the middle of the night? Is something wrong? There was a pause, longer than really felt comfortable. At first, I thought the connection had dropped, but I soon heard a resigned sigh from the other end. One of the bartenders got sick and can't work for the rest of the week. I didn't want to tell you like this, but I didn't have a chance to step away until now. I don't get a real meal break until later. My heart sank a little. Was this real, or was he backing off again? I found myself getting a little angry at him until I realized he wouldn't be calling me in the middle of the night to just keep me at arm's length. I'm sorry, I really am. I was looking forward to it. It's been forever since I last had a nice sit-down meal. I usually have to make do with whatever I can reheat in the kitchen from last night. What's on the menu tonight, then? Tonight I have a lovely boxed mac and cheese, aged with 3 weeks on the shelf. It's got a robust neon flavor with hints of cardboard and memories of being in college. We both chuckled at Jax's flowery description for a moment before settling back into an awkward silence. Maybe I was thinking about it aloud, but when he said, "This isn't an excuse." It caught me off guard. It was my concern, but to address it so directly, I spluttered into the phone, suggesting that I hadn't even considered it, but still, he seemed to have a pretty clear read on me. Ooh, damn, this is getting intricate. I know I came off a little distant yesterday, but I really had fun. I wanted to see what was in store for our next date. Next date? He was actually considering that? My cheeks flushed a little as a grin spread across my lips. So we're actually dating? It wasn't just a casual muffin? Well, yeah, I don't split muffins with every cute guy who walks in the door and takes me out for coffee. I never keep my girlish figure if that was the case. My sense of ease was interrupted by the sounds of noise spilling into the background and onto shouting over the din. I know, I'm finishing up right now. I'm sorry, David. I gotta run. Jack scrambled to end the call and left me sitting up right in bed, staring at my phone. All the anxiety I'd been having from before seemed so silly now. He wanted to see me again. He even said he did. Who knows when we might have the chance, though. I thought I'd try to call him back. Maybe he could steal away a moment or two and we could have lunch or something tomorrow. He isn't picking up. Maybe he can't hear his phone or maybe he's busy. I suppose I could always drop by the club. I don't want to seem desperate. Damn. Should I drop by the club or should I stay here? I'll drop by the club. This bitch is gonna be so mad at me when I drop by. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm gonna look desperate as fuck. If we couldn't find the time to do it, then I needed to make the time to see him again. He mentioned the meal break and didn't sound thrilled about his food options. Maybe I should grab something to bring. I got myself together and headed towards the door. The only question was what to bring. Between me and the club were a few choices that were open this late. Ooh, do I get to pick? Ooh. Burger Wolf, Dragon's House of Noodles, Mia Amore. How about Mia Amore? Mia Amore was probably the more expensive option, but nothing says romantic dinner like some hearty Italian. I picked up a big order of spaghetti and some garlic bread. I figured simple would be best and the lightest on my wallet. That said, the smell of the meatballs was heaven. I just hoped he liked extra Parmesan. With traffic being almost non-existent, it was easy enough to get to the club in record time. After wrestling with the car to slip into the only space remaining, I hoofed it to the front door and made my way inside. The place was packed from wall to wall, and I could barely hear anyone over the music and the crowd. Seemed the sorority girls Jackson mentioned invited a few more friends over throughout the night. Sorority girls, really? I don't want to talk to this bitch. Bitch, I slapped the fuck out of you. Hey.
Hey girls, it's fresh meat and not bad looking one at that. Woo, take off your top.
I splurted in place as the girl bounced in front of me, sloshing her drink around. It was pretty clear from her expression that it wasn't her first.
Come on, cut loose. Woo, we're all here to party. You should come join us. I just know Monique would be into you.
I tried to bow out, shouting over the noise, as she began to tug on my arm and yank me in the direction of their booth. I desperately looked around for Jax or anyone else I recognized as she pulled me to a table scattered with shot glasses.
Shots, shots, shots. Whoa.
Slap this bitch. Slap her. As I was about to down one just to get them low, one of the other bartenders from last night tapped me on the shoulder. He gave me a wink and nudged me back as he laid out a whole new array of beverages for the enthusiastic crowd. They seemed to forget about me for the moment and snagged each of their alcoholic fruit salads off the tray. Sorry about that. They've been getting a little rowdy. Follow me. What? The two of us made our way through the club and back to the main bar. He lifted the small separator and ushered me past it and through the swinging kitchen door. While it was a bit darker back there, it was also much quieter. What is happening? I don't want to have sex with these people. There now, I don't have to shout. You're David, right? Jax has been complaining about having to work tomorrow since the start of the shift. He told us you might be dropping by. Seems like he's pretty fond of you. He gave me a bit. This bitch is a horse, right? He looks like a donkey. Yeah, this bitch is a donkey. Look at his tail. He gave me a bit of an elbow nudge as I stammered back to him. I didn't expect his co-workers to be so aware of his dating life. I just tried to smile and not feel too awkward about someone knowing more about me than I did about them. Yeah, well, we hit it off pretty well. Good to see him dating again. Been trying to bury himself in work for so long. Heck, it's just his luck that the one day he asks off this weekend when the Mitch gets sick. Mitch. He led me back to an empty prep table in the back of the kitchen. A couple of abused bar stools served as chairs. He motioned to one and smiled. I'll let him know you're back here. After I got settled, he stepped back out into the club. My head was spinning. In 5 minutes, I learned more about Jax's past than I had over our whole first date. Still, his initial reaction to me outside the bar made a little more sense, though. I still didn't know what had actually happened. I started unpacking what I brought, grabbing a few dishes from the clean stack near the dishwasher and setting them up on the table. I just poured us each a glass of water when Jax walked in. It had clearly been a long night for Jax, and his chipper attitude was waning and his stomach was audibly rumbling. It made me wonder if he'd had a chance to grab something to eat since this morning. I hate to be blunt, but I'm starving. Do you mind if we just jump in? Not at all. I nibbled at my food while Jax wolfed his down. I asked him about his day, how he was doing now, and the two of us exchanged pleasantries as we ate. I still couldn't put what the other bartender had said out of my head, nor the awkwardness of him knowing my name without knowing his. Jax must have sensed it, and he set down his food and smiled. Much better. Sorry if I don't get something to eat. I tend to collapse around this point. Spaghetti? Did you have an ulterior motive? Sneaking kisses across the table or something? If that was my intention, I wouldn't have gotten the garlic bread. True enough. Either way, it's better than reheated mac and cheese for the third night in a row. Thanks. Sitting across the table, my mind wandered back to what the other bartender had said. It raised to Jack's interest in me, so why was he so quiet when we first met? I didn't want to pry, but I had to know. Who? Jax? I needed to ask you something. It's been bothering me for a while now. What's that? Yesterday you were a different person at the start. Quiet, reserved, unsure. Here, though, you're a showman. Your co-worker mentioned that you hadn't been dating in a while. Be direct. What happened? It's not important. Well, it is important, but it's not a big deal. I want to make sure I'm not getting the wrong signals. I like you, Jax. It's a little painful still. Hard to talk about even with my friends. I figured, but I like the you I got to know when we first met. The you that I was with after the movie. I don't want him to vanish on me. You're only the second guy I've dated. Most of the time, I've been with women. It's always been casual and we've been friends afterwards, but the first guy I was with, I met back in college. He shifted a little in his seat, his scales fading to a duller hue. It was clear he was getting a little uncomfortable. Bitch, just stop. Drop it.